Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's Julia Haetzel of the women's golf team. Julia, top 10 finish for you last week at the Stith Invitational. You put together your strongest tournament of the spring so far. Just take us through the 2 days in Richmond.
Yeah, I think the first day for me was kind of easy golf, which is nice, just hitting greens and two putts. The second day, there was a little bit more pressure. I obviously wanted to follow up with another good round, but was just able to kind of focus at the end and finish my round a little bit worse, but still strong.
This spring season, just 3 tournaments for you guys so far. What's been like one of the big things you've really worked on over the last couple of months since getting back outside and into the spring season here?
Yeah, it was a little bit hard for us, especially coming out of the winter. We didn't have as much time to practice outside compared to some of the other teams, especially starting in Arizona. The West Coast teams have a little bit of an advantage there. But I think we've really focused on bringing the freshmen into the team and kind of focusing on our community that we're creating so that we can all perform as best we can.
2 weeks away from the conference championship, which is the next competition for you guys over at the Wintergreen Resort, just about an hour away from here. What's going to be the things you guys got to work on to make sure you walk away with the conference championship in a couple weeks?
Yeah, I think at the Stith last week, our putting was kind of our confidence with that kind of took a blow. So we're going to try and rebuild that going into Wintergreen. We played this past weekend. It was great for us to get out there. And then just kind of making sure people stay positive and we feel good about hopefully taking the ODACs again.
Well, Julia, congrats on a strong week this past week, and best of luck at the ODAC Championship in a few weeks.
Thank you.
Now joined by one of the GeneralSports.com athletes of the week, it's George Marable of the men's track and field team. George, your best race of the weekend, the 400-meter hurdles, ran the second fastest time in program history. What worked so well during that race?
Yeah, really just having confidence in myself. Last week at Bridgewater, I opened up, put down a pretty good time, but, learning from the race, I started over the first couple hurdles. Took me a while to, really get going. So just going and attacking every hurdle, starting off on the right foot, and just, trusting my work, trusting in, my coach Jewel and everything that we have, done preceding that point.
You also put together good performances in the 110-meter hurdles, finishing in the top 10 in a pretty Division I heavy field in that race. And then the 4x4, you guys broke 3:20. What else did you take away from those other races that you liked from a confidence perspective?
Yeah, definitely starting with the 110s, definitely wasn't my cleanest race, but, I felt fast. I felt quick, especially coming off, after running a pretty big race on Friday night and, coming the next day and turn around running pretty well with some pretty tough competition next to me. And for the 4x4, Coach Jewel kind of pulled us aside, lit a fire under our legs. And, one of our guys was out. And so we had a freshman, Jonathan Farman, sub in, and, he, lit it up, had a great anchor leg. My job in that, is just open us, put us in position. I know my teammates can do the rest.
Championship season just a few weeks away. Getting ready for the end of the outdoor season. What are some things you want to work on to make sure you put yourself in a position to perform well?
Yeah, just getting better each day and trusting in Coach Jewell's plan, my teammates, put me in the best position possible to go out there and compete. There's definitely some things, I still got to work on, just being smoother, more efficient over the hurdles, especially in the 400s, the 110s, making sure I could snap my trail leg down faster, driving through the hurdle, making sure that, my technique, as long as my speed is there, and continue to stay on the path that, I've been on and the rest of the guys have been on, and, just getting ready to go out there and compete and, hopefully win a ODAC championship.
Well, George, congrats on a very strong weekend this past weekend, and best of luck in the few weeks ahead.
Yeah, thank you.